Hello and welcome. In this video, let us continue our lesson on variables. Alright, so I'll say a is equal to 5 here, and then in the next line I'll say console.log and a. So here when I run this, I get an output of 5. Okay. Next, once again, I'll say a is equal to 8. Okay, and next once again I'll say console.log a. Alright, so let me run it, and now I get 5 and 8. Okay, so let us try to understand what is happening here. So initially I'm saying 5 should be stored in a, and in the next line I am printing it out. Okay, I'm logging it to the console. I'm printing a, so I get 5, and in the next line I am replacing 5 with 8, or in other words I am storing 8 in a, or the value of 5 which I had put here is removed and 8 is added to a, and in the next line I am printing out a. So this line prints out the latest value that is stored in a. Okay, latest value that is stored in a, and that is 8, and so I get 8. Okay, so this is how we can change a value stored in a variable. We are saying that we are mutating it. Alright, but you can remember as changing it. Alright, next I'll say age equal to 35, and I'll say current age equal to 40. Alright, so in the next line I'll say age equal to current age. Okay, age equal to current age, and in the next line I'll say console.log age. Alright, so let us see what we get as output. So we get 40. Okay, now let us try to understand what is happening here. Initially I said that 35 must be stored in age, or the value 35 must be stored in age, and in the next line I am saying 40 must be stored in current age. So this is also a variable. Okay, so in this variable store the value 40, and in the next line I am saying store the value that is stored in current age in age. Okay, I am saying age equal to current age means store the value that is stored in current age inside age. So what happens is 40 gets stored inside age. Initially it was 35, here it becomes 40, or 40 replaces 35, and when I print it out we get 40. Okay, so here if I say console.log and if I say age, and if I run it, I'll get 35 and 40. At this stage, the value of age is 35 because we have not changed it, right? So let me give space. We have not changed it, but here in the next line we changed, and after changing we are trying to print it out here, so we get 40. 35 is initial value, 40 is the changed value. Alright, next there are few rules of writing the variable name. Okay, so first is it has to be descriptive. So don't choose something like this. Don't say fn equal to, alright, Ravi or Ravi. Alright, don't say fn equal to Ravi. Now it works. Okay, it works. If I say console.log fn, I'll get Ravi as output. But fn, what is fn? Only you who has written this will be knowing the meaning. Fn equal to first name. So you may also forget it after few days. So next week if you come back and look at it, look at the program that you have written, you may not know what does Fn mean. So that is why instead of using Fn, use first name. Okay, first name. Alright, so first name. Same thing here, first name. Now when you read this, you'll understand what it means. What is this variable? What does it do? This is a variable called as first name, which stores first name of a person. So this is better than Fn. Instead of saying ln, say last name. Okay, let the name of the variable be descriptive so that it is easy for others to understand. Okay, next, what we are using here is called as camel case. Alright, camel case. So in camel case, the first letter will be small letter or in lower case, and the first letter of subsequent words will be capital letter or uppercase. So here this is first word, first. So the first letter of the first word will be small. Okay. Then whatever word you have, the first letter will be capital. Okay. First letter will be capital. So here I have said name. Okay. Similarly, current age. So first word, first letter, small letters. Next word is capital. Okay, current age. So this is called as camel case. Alright, so use it. So people, or you can also use this. Okay, you can also say current and space instead of space, underscore and age. So you can use that too. Let me delete this to avoid confusion. You can say current underscore age and use this as a variable, that is fine too, but generally in JavaScript people use this. Okay, people use camel case. Next, you cannot start a variable name from a number. Okay, so you cannot say first name. Alright, you cannot say first name is equal to Ravi. Right? You cannot say first name is equal to Ravi. So this is invalid because the name of the variable starts from number. Alright. So if you try to, let me delete this, if you try to print this out, you'll get an error. Okay, you'll get an error. So do not start a variable from number. But you can start with an underscore. Alright, underscore is fine, or dollar symbol is also fine. So you can start with either underscore or dollar symbol. Both are acceptable in JavaScript. Alright. Next, don't use any other special character. I'll say first and I'll say and. Okay, and let me quickly copy this so as to save your time. And now when I use it, I'll get an error because and is a special character which cannot be used in a variable name. Okay, so don't use it. Next, you have to follow one common rule. Alright, one convention, not rule, one convention. So if you are using camel case, use camel case everywhere. If you are using underscores, use underscores everywhere. Alright. Next, don't start the word or the name of the variable from a capital letter. Okay, or uppercase. Alright. So it is not wrong if you start from uppercase, but generally we do not follow There is a reason to it, but do not worry about it. But do not start with a capital letter. Okay, do not start with a capital letter. Next, you cannot have a keyword, a reserved keyword in JavaScript as a variable. Alright, so here I'm saying function is equal to Ravi, and if I say function and run it, I'll get an error. Okay, I'll get an error because function is a reserved keyword in JavaScript. Alright, function is a reserved keyword in JavaScript. There are many others too. So try not to use them. Alright, for example, new is one more reserved keyword in JavaScript. So do not use them. Okay, so apart from this, you can use anything, but follow the same convention throughout the program. So my advice is to use camel case everywhere. Alright. Next, let me delete this. There are 4 ways to say what a variable is, or 4 ways to initialize a variable, or 4 ways to define a variable. Okay. So one is like this. Alright, a is equal to 4. Let me say console.log a. Alright, so when I run it, I get 4. This is the way that we have been defining a variable till now. Alright, there are 3 more ways. That is by saying let a is equal to 4. Okay, using let, we define a variable. So we say let a is equal to 4, let a be 4, let a is equal to 4, or we can say var for variable a is equal to 4. Alright, var a is equal to 4, or we can say constant a is equal to 4. Alright, const a is equal to 4. So these are the 4 ways you can define a variable in JavaScript. Alright, so we have been following this, but you should not follow this. Alright, you should not follow this because it defines it as a global variable. Now once again, do not worry about it right now, because if I explain the concept, it may confuse you. But just remember that do not use this way to define a variable. Alright, so this is out of question. So let us see these 3. You can use let, you can use var, or you can use const. Alright, now initially we used to use this. Okay, var a equal to 4. Then in recent JavaScript update, we started using let and const. Okay, so in JavaScript currently we use let and const. Now all 3 are used to define variables, but then they are for different purposes. Okay, there is a difference between all 3, and which is once again not required to learn now. Okay, you don't have to learn the reasons, or you don't have to learn the difference right now. But now let us proceed with this, and let me explain you what should we use. Okay, so var is a older way to define a variable, so let us not use it. Alright, next is let a is equal to 4. Now this is commonly used to define variable. Okay, this is commonly used to define a variable. I'll delete this for now. Now when I say, let me say 5. Okay, now when I run it, I get 5. So I'm saying let a be 5. Okay, let a is equal to 5, and then I'm printing a out. Okay, so let name or first name is equal to Ravi. Okay, and I'll print first name. I'll run it and I'll get Ravi. So let this variable be this. That is what we are saying. So we are using let. Okay. Now let me show you the difference between let and const. So I'm saying let a is equal to 5. I'll print a. Okay. 5. And here I'll say a is equal to 99. Alright. A is equal to 99. So I'll run this and I get 99 here. So what has happened? So initially I said that let a is equal to 5. So 5 was stored in a, and in the next line I changed it to 99. I changed the value of a to 99 and then I printed it out, and so I'm getting 99 as output here. Okay. Now remember one thing. When you define a variable for the first time, you have to use let. Then when you want to change the value of the variable, you should not use let. That means you should not say let a is equal to 99 here. So let has to be used only when you are initializing or defining a variable. So only once. Okay, only once. Now a was 5 here, a became 99 here, and then I printed it out. Now let me use const. Okay, let me use const. I'm saying, or let me delete this first. So const a is equal to 5 console.log a. So when I run it, I get 5 as output. In the next line, I'll say a is equal to 99. Alright, and now when I run it, I get an error. I get an error. This is because we cannot change the value of a variable if we use const to define it. Const is constant. Okay, constant. That means a remains the same no matter what we do. So once you define the variable using constant, you cannot change it anywhere. Alright, you cannot change it anywhere. So if you want to change the value, you have to change the value here itself. Here itself. Okay, so that is why we use const to define variables which do not change throughout the program. Okay, for example, if we are saying, or if we are storing date of birth of a person, okay, or year of birth. Let me take year. Okay, year of birth of a person. Let us say in a program we are storing year of birth of many people. So year of birth doesn't change, correct? Year of birth doesn't change. So you can define 1988 here. Alright, just an example. And no matter what you do, you cannot change year of birth in the program. Okay, in any part of the program. If you want to change it, you have to change it here itself. You cannot just say year of birth is equal to 99 and get an output. Okay, so it gives you an error because we have defined it using const. But if you use it using let, if you define it using let and run it, sorry, this has to be here, you'll get 1989. Alright, so if you use const, you'll get an error. Alright, so use const to define variables that do not change. For example, year of birth, driver's license number, Aadhaar number, PAN card number. Now these do not change. Well, of course, we have to change it sometimes if the entry is wrong, if you have to modify the Aadhaar number, if you have to modify the PAN card number, which comes later. Okay, once again, do not worry everything right now. Just remember that we define variable generally using let, and if it is a constant, using const. Alright, so that is about variables. So these are the rules that you have to remember while defining a variable. Okay, now it is your time for practicing. Go ahead and practice all the things that we have learned in this video before moving to the next one. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and thank you for watching.